Okay, how is everybody doing today? My name is Kent, as always. The date is August 3rd, so we're already into August, a brand new month for 2021. And the time is 4:06 p.m. Pacific Coast time. We're in San Diego, California. And before I do anything, I'm going to set my preferences. The output. We want the output at, not at the headphones. Input is the right one. How come we don't have the output at the... Anyway, let me see if I can get this thing going. I want to talk a little bit about Ethereum today. I want to talk about Ethereum and what's going on with Ethereum. And we're going to start off with a guy by this guy right here. A lot of people probably have seen his face, but his name's Raoul Pal, P-A-L. I don't know how to pronounce it. But anyway, let me just see if this will play for you. No, so I got to set my preferences after I open up the video. So anyway, we're going to talk about Ethereum because Ethereum's getting, and why am I not getting that option? Very interesting. Head port. Might have to restart this video. Input, output. I might have to unhook these headphones here to see if I can get the right. Might have to. There we go. Pull this out. Let me see now if I can get it to come back. Go back about this. Sorry about the delay. Well, while I'm in the delay, I can actually talk about it. I am not a financial advisor. My friend Richard Martin said, you know, people aren't very bright about this kind of stuff. You better say it. So I'm not a financial advisor. Don't listen to anything I say. I make fun of people saying that all the time because I think it's really, kind of a ridiculous statement. I mean, this is an entertainment value channel on YouTube. That's the category I'm in, entertainment. So I'm an entertainer. I'm not a financial advisor. So don't listen to anything I say. So let's go back to the preferences now. I've unhooked my speakers and see outputs. Yeah, now we got internal speakers. There we go. I guess I had to unhook that. So that's a new one on me. So now we got that all set up. So anyway, we're going to listen to this guy. His name is Raoul Pal. He used to be a hedge fund manager. He's big into Ethereum. He's big into Bitcoin. He's one of the people that's really talked a lot about this. And the other thing I got to do is I got to go back and set my screen right. So let's make this smaller. Let's pull this over. This is a learning experience. So every time I do one of these, it's I have to make sure I get all the settings right. Sometimes I have to do this on the fly. So here we go. Now we're back to where we're okay. Now we're up and running. Video finally starts. But I haven't wasted any time because most of the time I've used so far was just been used by most of the YouTubers to do some stupid intro, which I cannot stand most people's intro. Plus, it gets tired to listen to the same intro. If you like a YouTuber, you get to listen to the same intro over and over and over again. And the 30 seconds to a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes that they spend telling you they're not financial advisors. So that time I just spent getting my screens and stuff together. So it really wasn't that wasted. So let's talk to this guy. And like I say, he's probably pretty well known. I really don't know his background that much, but I see him a lot on YouTube. He's a wealthy guy, probably worth hundreds of millions of dollars like the rest of them. They all got more money than God, but they all have really flawed financial thinking. How they made this money, I have no idea, because they didn't make it by being good thinkers, because most of them aren't good thinkers, including this guy. Very poor thinker. But as my friend Richard Martin says, most people aren't very bright anyway, so who cares? Anybody buys whatever garbage they put out there on the YouTube, and they just buy it and they don't even think about it. So let's just, for a point of reference, let's just take a look at the markets today. Actually, Bitcoin is taking a little bit of a slight downward. Bitcoin is at 38,000, was over 41,000, and Ethereum's 2,400. Actually, I think Ethereum's down a little bit too here, but on the last few days, Ethereum's lost less than Bitcoin. So basically, a lot of people are what they call flippening. They're starting to go to Ethereum over Bitcoin. And we're going to talk about that because I think there's some real flawed thinking going on with Ethereum. And the first thing you need to realize is how to value any of these things. And if there's one point that Warren Buffett has is evaluations. You know, Warren Buffett is a value investor. Benjamin Graham, he looks at things like sales. He looks at things like the balance sheet to see what assets a company owns. He looks at revenue, to see how much money they're generating. All these things go into evaluations, and those make up what a company can be valued at. There is no connection between valuations and what a company's truly worth. Those are two separate ideas. You can evaluate a company at $1 billion, $1 trillion that is losing incredible amounts of money. Happens all the time. Or because they think that somehow in the future, something magically is going to happen and the company's going to turn it around and make a lot of money. That's how guys like Mark Cuban got so wealthy. You know, he had a company that was losing money, broadcast.com, but he was able to sell it for $2 billion because Yahoo was foolish enough to misvalue the company or misvalue the future revenues or the future growth or the future returns of the company. They misvalued it. It basically turned out being worthless. So Cuban can sit on, you know, a Shark Tank stage and be critical of everybody else's idea when his idea was nothing but a big failure. That's correct. It was a failure. So whenever I look at that Frankenstein face of Mark Cuban's, all I see is failure written all over it, even though he's obnoxious and he's overbearing and he's rude and he thinks knows it all. He's really a loser because he really is a loser. He came up with a loser idea. His idea didn't, in the real world, work. The only thing he did, he was a good salesman. He's a good con artist, salesman kind of guy that was able to put it off on somebody else and make somebody else believe that he had something he really didn't have. So anyway, enough of that. So let's go back to Raoul Pal. You can tell I really don't like Cuban too well. And the reason I don't, because I see the guy and he's always so obnoxious. He's hard to tolerate. I don't think I've watched more than a minute's worth of Shark Tank. But every now and then I see the clips of Shark Tank on other YouTube channels, and I'll pick up a minute or two of it, and I just look at the guy and I shake my head because I really know the true story. And if you do a little research, you'll know the true story too. So let's start with Raoul and what he really talks about. And I want to talk. We'll go through little segments of what he says, and I'll start at 4:15. Go back to 4:15. Here's 4:14. So here we go. Let's listen to him and see what he says. Here we go. Okay, why is it playing? Let's take a look at this one more time. Preferences. Did I get the right one? I might have shut off my mic too. Okay, output is external speakers. Input is, yep, that should all be good. So here we go. Let's go back to Mr. Powell. Figure out what's going on. Okay, here we go. Did we play any? Let's go back just a second ago. Let's listen to this. Right, here we go.
Started seeing the chart of Ethereum versus Bitcoin and looked like it was going to start outperforming, just a chart pattern and a hunch.
Okay, so now he's making hunches, but here we go.
And then I started digging into, okay, how do you value Bitcoin and Ethereum? So we've had this.
Good question, Mr. Powell. If you're going to throw a bunch of money at it, how do you value it? How do you value it? Is it through revenues? Is it through sales? Is it through balance sheet assets? There's a lot of ways to evaluate companies. How do you evaluate it? You can evaluate it through blue sky. What your dream or potential of this is going to be. But let's say, how are you going to evaluate Ethereum? I'd like to know. Let's see what the master says. The guy that's worth, the hedge fund manager, it's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Let's see what he's got to say.
Stock to flow model, but really what it was to me was also a network.
Okay, there you go.
And you use something called Metcalfe's law to.
Okay, so he was saying, really, how do you evaluate it? He's saying you evaluate it through a network of people. How many people are involved with this? How many people does it touch? And that's how he's evaluating it. You know, it could touch 1 billion people, but not make any money. But let's just keep going. Let's hear what it says.
Value a network, which is basically a network has value proportionate to the number of people on the network and the number of interconnections they have with each other.
Okay, and that's what he's saying about Ethereum. Ethereum, how many connections and how much network does it have? And we're going to evaluate it based on that. Now, how you put numbers to that, I don't know, but let's keep going.
So I could see that in Bitcoin, and you could pretty much prove it out by putting like number of active wallet addresses.
Okay, so basically he's using wallet addresses, but we'll keep going Because what's a wallet address? I mean, I could have $5 worth of Bitcoin. I could have $5 worth of Ethereum. What's that mean? Doesn't mean much. You know, there's a lot of wallet addresses that have less than $100 in them. But let's keep going.
And the price of Bitcoin on a chart, and you basically get a very high correlated answer.
Okay, man, the more I'm listening to this, the weirder it sounds. So he's basing it on a number of wallet addresses. Let's keep going. I'm just really thinking about what he's saying.
And I could see people attacking anybody who talks about Ethereum or other tokens online. So I'm like, I need to find out how you price Ethereum, because I have a feeling it's exactly the same as Bitcoin.
Okay, so Bitcoin and Ethereum are basically the same network Metcalfe's law, with which I have no understanding of. The only thing I know about is what he says about it here. But keep going.
And what was interesting is I used the same mechanism, and it's priced exactly the same way. But what was more surprising is the adoption of Ethereum was much.
Okay, I've heard enough. So basically, let's see what he's got to say. Let's go to the way I would evaluate it is not by addresses. I'd go to the GitHub. GitHub being a repository for the code. So if we have a number of developers working on a project and they're working together and they want to share code back and forth, they're probably going to be on a repository like GitHub. And let's just go to the GitHub, Ethereum GitHub. And we'll take a look at it. We'll see how many people are actually developing on Ethereum with the GitHub. Okay, so here's the Ethereum. We'll go and verify it. We'll go to the Ethereum organization, which here's the true Ethereum. So here's their GitHub. Now, not saying that people can't work on the code outside of GitHub. They could, but this gives you an indicator of how much active developers are working on this and working, together and cooperating together. So you have, here's the people, you all. Here are your number of people that are working on it, and there's 74 members. You got 74 members working on GitHub. Not that they couldn't be working on other repositories or working together independent of GitHub. That's true. They could be doing that. But GitHub has been kind of the place that people usually use. So you got 74, okay? Don't look at the addresses, because like I say, people could have very little interest. I've got an Ethereum address. Well, actually, I don't have an Ethereum address, but I own a little Ethereum, but I don't have it on an address. But if I did, it would be a very small amount. But you got 74 people working on this project that is valued at almost $300 billion. $300 billion. Okay. Now, $300 billion. Let's look at other companies and what their market cap valuations are. Okay, $300 billion. Ethereum's $400 billion, which it was up a little bit earlier. I think over $3,500. So at that time, it was over $400 billion. At that time, that was the equivalent of Johnson & Johnson. You know who Johnson & Johnson is. Everybody knows Johnson & Johnson, big medical supply company that has literally, come up with the vaccination for COVID, all kinds of stuff. Their market cap's $439 billion. At one time, Ethereum's was $400 billion. Johnson & Johnson, Chase Manhattan, JP Morgan, $469 billion. Ethereum's, $300 billion was once $400 billion. Visa, MasterCard, or I guess Taiwan Semiconductor, $555 billion. Alibaba, the equivalent of Amazon, $633 billion. These are companies that got real sales. Johnson & Johnson's putting out a vaccine for the COVID. They have got real numbers, real sales, real action, real activity, real revenue. And there's their Tesla, $657 billion, and they're selling cars. They're making cars. They have factories. They have a lot of, Berkshire Hathaway, $678. Not that he's doing much, but Facebook, $929 billion. So you can see Ethereum's up in these higher echelon of market valuations for a company that, has actually isn't even operational yet. It hasn't even started running the 2.0 that they're supposed to be running in order for all this activity to happen. They're still in beta. They haven't done anything. They're still running a blockchain that does less than 10 transactions per second. But yet you got them valued with some of the biggest, largest, most profitable corporations in the world. This is crazy, absolutely crazy that Ethereum has that kind of market cap and growing. And they're thinking of about a flippening where it's actually going to take over Bitcoin, which is an actual, Bitcoin's a store of value, proven around the world, used by countries like El Salvador. You know, adoptions all over the world, becoming mainstream. It's literally a store of value. And just to give it a comparison, let's see how many developers we have working on Bitcoin. Here's Bitcoin. Here's Bitcoin's GitHub. You have 812 contributors. So 812 versus what was there on Ethereum? Let me see if I can find Ethereum's GitHub again. I think there were like 74 or something like that. Yeah, we had 74 people, 258. We had 74 people on Ethereum, and on Bitcoin we've got 812. So what is this idea that somehow Ethereum has more activity going on than Bitcoin? I mean, if you look at the repository, if you look at the people creating code, there's 8 times, 10 times more on Ethereum, on Bitcoin than Ethereum. But yet this guy's still saying this, and nobody checks it out. Nobody checks the facts to see what's really going on, because I don't think he understands them himself. He just blathering stuff out there. He has no idea what he's talking about. So yeah, he's basically saying something that isn't true. So let's keep going with his Metcalfe's law and see if, okay, let's look 510. I think we're past that point. 525. We'll go a little bit farther here and see what he's got to say.
Faster than that of Bitcoin at the same stage. So I'm like, wow. And then you start realizing the number of things being built on it, the application.
Okay, the number of things being built up there. Here he goes again with another high, with speculation that he can't back up. So he's okay. Let's just hear what he has to say about what's being built on Ethereum.
The number of developers involved.
The number of developers. We just looked at that. There's 70 some developers on Ethereum, and there's 812 on Bitcoin. So he's completely wrong about that, but he continues to talk.
And the speed of the increase of the number of users.
And the speed of increase of the number of users. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Let's keep going.
So there's a lot of interconnections plus a lot of users.
A lot of interconnections plus a lot of users, just all speculation. He's just talking blue sky here.
That was going to become very valuable.
And that's going to become very valuable. Here we go.
So then add a chart onto that again. Chart of Ethereum looked like it was going to break out, and that gave me everything I needed.
Yep, everything he needed. Now he knows that Ethereum's going to be worth more than Bitcoin, and there's going to be a flippening where Ethereum's actually going to overrun Bitcoin as far as market cap's concerned. So that's what he's talking about. Ethereum, with 289 billion, is going to surpass 714 billion based on this network effect that's going on, of which he cannot substantiate, cannot prove, and all he does is talks to you about wallet addresses. If you know what a wallet address is, basically anybody can set up a wallet. And let me tell you another thing about Ethereum. It's not user-friendly. If you want to set up a wallet on Ethereum, you're going to have to do it through MetaMask, which is a pain in the neck, or should a better way of saying it is a pain in the ass to set up a wallet. It's not very user-friendly, and it doesn't work very well. And it's a browser extension, and it's a really difficult way of using it. Ethereum's not a user-friendly project with gas fees and with MetaMask and with having your own wallet. It's not easy to use, even though there's these, and you see they got 80 developers working on it. 72 developers, 74 developers working on it. Yeah. Not to say, and it's funny because I looked through the people that are doing it. Some of these people I actually do know, but yeah, and I don't see Vitalik on there either. So anyway, let's keep going. So another guy I want to talk about who seems to love Ethereum is a guy that I watched quite often. He used to be a really good researcher. He would do research. If I can find the guy's name is Crypto Chico, something like that. What is this? Now let's see if I can find Chico here. Where is Chico? Maybe I got rid of Chico. Let me go to my history and see if I can find Chico. Oh, right here. I just sold my Bitcoin to buy more Ethereum. That's Chico. Crypto Chico.
It's flipping bit.
Okay, let's go back to where I think I got 519 on him. Let's go to 519. Okay. Let's hear what he's got to say. I mean, this guy, look, he's got 261 subscribers. I got 5,000. This video is getting 1,200 views. My videos get less than 200, a few hundred views. But this guy, let's listen to his idea of the flippening and why he's selling his Bitcoin. You're a fool, Chico. You're a fool. Selling his Ethereum to buy, selling his Bitcoin to buy Ethereum. Here we go. Let's see.
This is a full 3 months of food.
Okay, first I got to go through this stuff.
Any refrigeration or special storage.
Okay, get out.
These markets are similar. They do have differences, but the main narratives hodl true. Now, the last cycle in 2017, there was a major
Okay, I got to stop it because he's talking too much. Actually, I might be at the wrong place. Yeah, hold on. 519. Oh, and just to go back to the GitHub. Before I forget, I want to go to the GitHub again. Let's go to GitHub before we talk to see what Chico's got to say. Let's just type in Hex, the project I always talk about. The guy with Hex with all the rings and the Louis Vuitton. Well, let's just do it through Google so we know we get the right Hex. HEX GitHub. If anybody knows what Hex is, one of the bigger projects on Ethereum. They got 2 people working on it. So this guy, let's go to his YouTube. He's got 2 people working on this project. I'm surprised he's got 2. This dude right here, whatever his name is, Richard Hart. So yeah, the big Richard Hart with his Louis Vuitton outfit on and all the stuff. He's got a massive development team here of 2 people. Overview. I mean, it's just a total disgrace. It's just ridiculous. I mean, if this is where his stuff is parked, he's got nothing going on. Absolutely nothing. Just terrible. This is so terrible. And this guy, and what's he worth? I mean, what's the market cap on Hex? It's sickening. Yeah, it's I don't even know if they have a market cap. They never give the market, but he got a $47 billion. What is $47 million trading volume? $47 million in a day. The guy's got 2 developers working on his project. I don't even what if he's got the repository, how much stuff they've actually even done. If they've even done anything recently, let's sort by last updates. Was the last update in June? Yeah, it looks like some sort of test IU was done in June 15th. That's the last. And then before that was July 6th, 2020. Or yeah, I mean, this is what he's done recently for a $47 billion or $47 million market cap or trading volume. Look at the number of look at the number contribute. It's terrible. I mean, it's just absolutely embarrassing. And this guy pulls this off every day. Yeah, they're putting nothing up. They're doing nothing. These little if this was full of green dots, that would show there'd be activity. They've got no activity whatsoever. That's why it's kind of funny to listen to Richard Hart talk, because he's just all BS. The guy's just nothing but BS. Sleight of hand, man. Sleight of hand, guy. You got nothing going on. So yeah, and this is the kind of stuff people think, oh my gosh, I better get involved, because if I don't get involved, I'm going to miss out. Miss out on what? There's nothing going on. So anyway, let's go back to where I was, back to Chico, where he sold all his Bitcoin for Ethereum.
Narrative that made its way into the markets. As we can see, major news outlets were covering it back in 2017. CoinDesk posted this article, The Flippening.
There we go, the flippening again. Let me see if I'm at the right place for Chico. 519. I got to get up here a little farther. because I don't want to play much of their videos. I just want to play a little bit because I want to let you know kind of what their thinking is. And like I say, this guy used to be a pretty decent researcher. I watched his stuff, and occasionally he come up with some pretty good ideas, but lately it's been pretty bad.
This metric, money-movers.info, and as we can see, Ethereum is settling.
This is
Of course, I got to get the Patriot thing again with the
full 3 months of food without needing any refrigeration or special storage. And you're looking
over 3 times the value of Bitcoin. Basically 22 billion for Ethereum versus Bitcoin's 6.7 billion.
Okay, so what he's saying is that there's money moving around on these blockchains, and money's moving around a lot more on Ethereum than it is on Bitcoin. You know, $21 billion Ethereum, $6 billion of Bitcoin. So in his mind, that's enough to sell all my Bitcoin and buy Ethereum. I don't have to think any further than that. So, you know, not very much thinking goes into this decision.
And if we look back, it has been like this throughout the entire year too. Ethereum's economic activity has been higher than Bitcoin, with it getting its widest gap in May. Obviously, Ethereum is facilitating much more economic activity.
Okay, so his thing, the Raoul Paul's idea was that there was a network effect going on more with Ethereum than Bitcoin. And with Chico Crypto, his idea is that there's more money being moved around on Ethereum than Bitcoin, and that's the reason for him selling Bitcoin and buying Ethereum. And if he does, like I say, he's a fool.
On its chain, and it's due to DeFi, NFTs, and the combination of the two. Bitcoin doesn't have this, so all the activity of that goes to Ether, and it's...
Okay, now this guy has been around for quite a while, and he's talking about DeFi, NFTs, and all the activity of a smart contract platform that, if it were running, could possibly have some merit. But it's not running, Chico. They haven't released 2.0. They don't even have a date to release 2.0. Nobody's moving to release 2.0, and I made a video last week about this, that the 2.0 probably will never, ever launch. Probably will never launch. So this idea that all this activity is moving around on Ethereum is not happened. And we have no timetable on it. You know, nobody's even put it out in the future, like when are we going to start running 2.0 when we're doing more than 10 transactions a second, you know, which is, you know, ridiculous. But let's just go back to his point being more money moved around. So let's look at the DApp Central. Okay, DApp Central. And if you look at this, you know, and this is really pathetic. This is Ethereum, and this is all the activity on Ethereum. You can go to dapp.com and then pull up all these blockchains and look at them, of which you don't even see Cardano because it's not running yet. Charles Hawkinson hasn't gotten out of the gates, but yet he still has a market capitalization of, where is Cardano, of $43 billion for an idea that doesn't even show up in DApp Central because they don't have anything running on it. I think they have an ERC20 token running on it, or some way you're staking your Ethereum on and getting something for it, but that's about it. So you can see the main token that's doing a lot of the activity, a majority of the activity, is Uniswap. And all Uniswap is it a way to trade ERC20 tokens back and forth. It's kind of a marketplace for ERC20 tokens. And we'll talk about Uniswap in a little bit, but that's 2.91 million transactions over the last 30 days. So and it's the movement of almost 300,000. Was it $300,000? Or yeah, is that 300,000? 295K. That's minuscule, really, actually, for a project that's worth $300 billion. I mean, you're looking at these projects. These are the top projects on Ethereum right now. 300K, 171K, 99K, 66K, 50. This is a $300 billion market cap project. And we're talking about you can be in the top 10 and be doing $21,000 or $26,000 over the last 30 days. I know little businesses, mom and pop shops that do more business than that do more than $26,000 in the last 30 days. That's ridiculous. That's like $1,000 a day. But you could be in the top 10. Hex is doing $32,000 a day. And the guy can have hundreds of thousands of dollars of market cap, millions of dollars of the market cap in a day. Unbelievable. $1 million of market volume in a day. Unbelievable. But let's just look at Uniswap, because Uniswap, and I want to bring a video up that talks a little bit about Uniswap, because Uniswap does look like their biggest project so far that's doing the most volume, of which Chico sells his Bitcoin to buy because of something like Uniswap. So let's go to this Uniswap. I just want to play a little bit of this video of a guy talking a little bit about what Uniswap. Uniswap, restricted, decentralized ally. Let's just listen to a little. He's anti-Uniswap, but let's just see if he gives a somewhat of a idea what Uniswap is. So let's listen to him for a second. If we get through the advertisements there.
Uniswap, one of the leading decentralized exchanges, surprisingly just announced that they started restricting access to a small number of tokens.
Okay, so Uniswap, who's basically the only thing they're doing is they're swapping ERC20 tokens back and forth. ERC20 tokens, anybody can launch a smart contract. It's launched on Ethereum that launches an idea. Once you launch the Ethereum, the ERC20 token, you can use that ERC20 token to distribute it to people, to sell to people, to have a coin instead of an ICO, instead of I call it an initial public offering, an initial coin offering. You can raise money with the initial coin offering through an ERC20 token. That's what all these people that have raised hundreds of millions, billions of dollars have done through the ERC20 token. But you could do that right now through Uniswap. You can trade them back and forth. So let's talk about that. He's going to talk a little bit about that.
And at first, this does not make any sense because Uniswap is decentralized, meaning anyone can use it and any token can be listed on Uniswap. But right now we are seeing that they are restricting and
so any ERC20, that's all we got. We got the number one DApp we're running on Ethereum right now is Uniswap. This is actually an ad, so it's Uniswap. So, and all they are is they're just a way to take these ideas that nobody does anything with, which is all, has yet to happen. It's like they're building the communities, but they have no freeway or highway system to link them up to any kind of activity. So in other words, you're building the community, you've got an ERC20 token, and it's probably not much of a community. Build a little community, raise a little bit of money, you try to build something, but the Ethereum blockchain itself won't allow you to reach that community. The highway isn't open yet. The highway's still being built, because we're running at speeds of less than 10 transactions per second, and we're charging you enormous fees for doing that. And the user experience is very unfriendly because you have to have a browser extension called MetaMask and open up your own wallet and manage your own wallet and do a lot of crazy things and be exposed to a lot of phishing scams. You get them all the time, phishing scams. Somebody will send you an email and say, wow, there's been a strange IP address on your trying to open your wallet. So what do? They'll have a link there. You go to the link, you open up the link, you give them your password and your user name because you're worried that somebody might be hacking your account. Guess what? That's the hack right there. Now they got your information and they hack your wallet. So that's what you're exposed to with the Ethereum wallet. And the hacks of the phishing scams that they'll just send a text to you going, oh, your account's being compromised. We really need your password and your username right away to keep your money from being stolen, when they're the ones getting ready to steal your money. So here we go. Let's keep going.
removing assets. So is Uniswap actually decentralized? But even more important than that, does decentralization even exist? Is decentralization a myth?
Is the decentralization a myth? So let's continue here with this guy. I got to make breaks because I don't want to play too much of this video at one time.
Get into the content. Welcome aboard the Bitcoin Express. My name is Chase. Let's get to it. Uniswap claims to be a decentralized trading protocol.
So it's a trading protocol. Basically a decentralized trading protocol for the ERC20 tokens that are running on Ethereum. And I think anybody can be on Uniswap. So whatever other blockchains are going at the time too. If you're on EOS or you're on, which we're getting ready to run real quick on, let's see some of the others that we could look at here. On so Binance, EOS, Tron, they don't even have the one I was thinking about. Let me go to DApp Radar. The number one in the world. Telos. Yeah, we're getting ready to launch on Telos. We'll be launched on Telos hopefully before the end of the month. So this is the blockchains. Is this DAP radar? Yep, DAP radar keeps changing the way they look. Let's just go to right here. It looks like Wax, Steam, Hive. These are all fast blockchains, all run by Dan Lermer ideas. Here's Telos. Telos basically running the same software as EOS. So here we go. So there you go. There's so they don't have everything on DApp Central. Just to check out where we're at here on DApp Central, I want to check out our application. So if you want to go to EOS, we're basically run on social. So where we are, number 4. This is our transactions. 80-day 3. We have 80 users the last 30 days. And we got 30-day transactions of 233. So yeah, we're running an application that's runs very smoothly. Challenged app. Let's see if they give us more information. They used to give a number of users, overall users here. 790 transactions in 90 days, $578 in volume. Yeah, we're not running at a Richard Hart level, that's for sure. But then again, we actually do have developers. We actually do have code. We actually do have people working on something. And we actually do have a running application, unlike these others that we've been talking about. So go back to YouTube and listen to what, continue with the Uniswap, because I want to hear what else he's got to say about Uniswap. I get so many of these windows open that I forget. And I think I might have to go back. I think I closed out his, oh, here we go. There's Uniswap. Let's keep going with this. If I can get it to stay still.
But they just restricted access to certain cryptocurrencies, including assets such as synthetics and UMA protocol. And this is all happening right now due to regulation.
Okay, so the regulators are coming in and saying, hey, we're not going to allow you to trade this stuff. Probably because it's considered a security. From the Howey test of the Security and Exchange Commission of the 1940s, 1930s Supreme Court ruling about what a security is.
Over the last year, we have seen that the regulators are not a fan of any assets that may be considered securities. And when it comes to assets such as synthetics.
Yeah. So the regulators are going to start coming in, synthetics. So Uniswap's getting a little bit worried about that. They don't want to be in the stream of distributing or trading in unapproved securities that are running on their exchange. So they're just going to eliminate, just like Coinbase did when XRP was sued by the Security and Exchange Commission, and Coinbase immediately lost them. They just go away. All the other exchanges dropped them too. So all these ERC20 tokens that raised a ton of money, including deals like Richard Hart, are going to eventually run into security issues, in which Uniswap is already starting to recognize that.
Or UMA protocol. These are synthetic assets that are tied to real-world assets, and these real-world assets...
Okay, here we go. Now you're talking about how the Ethereum blockchain can all of a sudden have incredible real-world values. If you took real-world assets and put them on the blockchain and could run the transactions at a speed fast enough, like that you could have a database or some sort of way of controlling or understanding or making some ability to keep track of all real estate and put it on a blockchain. Now you've got real assets running on a blockchain. Now you have assets attached to the blockchain, or representatives of assets attached to the blockchain that represent real world value, like real world real estate, real world supply chains, all this stuff. Now you would have valuations that would start to be approaching some of these some of these 293 billion, 62 billion, 720. I mean, actually, Bitcoin isn't in that league because Bitcoin is not going to put real estate on the blockchain. But if you could put real world assets on the blockchain that represent the real world asset on the, now you could get valuations to that point, because now you would have something valuable on the, but we don't have that today because we got 10 transactions a second, because nobody will launch 2.0 because nobody wants to do it, because there's no financial incentives in it for people like Vitalik, and nobody wants to do that. And they also don't want to run it because they know that there's a possibility it may not work right. There may be some hitches. There may be some problems. So they're not going to launch 2.0. So until they launch 2.0, this is ridiculous. And guys like Chico Crypto and Raoul Pol that are making these speculations need to explain why in 7 years Ethereum has not, will not, and continues to refuse to launch the proof of stake protocol, which it would need in order to do the kind of transactions to that would back up these kinds of market capitalizations that would be able to support these kind of market capitalizations. Don't exist yet, haven't existed yet. So anyway, let's see what else this guy's got to say. Unrestricted. Okay, here we go. Keep going.
Maybe securities. So what happened? Uniswap decided to restrict access to these tokens. And at first, you're going to hear the story and say, wow, Uniswap is not actually decentralized. But there are two parts to this.
So by the fact that Uniswap is able to do this, it means they're not decentralized. Because if they were truly decentralized, they wouldn't be delisting anybody. It would be, you know, if you wanted to be on them, you'd be on it. So they're making selections out of these securities of which ones is or not. So it's not really truly decentralized. But let's keep going.
When it comes to Uniswap, there is Uniswap, the protocol, and then there is Uniswap Labs, the company. Uniswap, the protocol, is decentralized, smart contracts running on Ethereum, and
I'm so glad you're okay.
Okay, so what he's trying to say is that the smart contracts are decentralized because they're running on the platform. But what's going on? Let me finish off with this ad.
Sergeant Houston, this is Sam with USAA. Do you see the tow truck?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, let's skip the ad. Keep going.
And Uniswap Labs, the company, is centralized. And you can still trade these assets, but it won't be as easy or as simple. Uniswap did not delist these assets from trading, but users can still trade the assets affected via contracts, decentralized
Okay, so once again, you got a very unfriendly user situation. It's going to be very difficult to trade these assets because of the fact Uniswap is trying to protect themselves from the Federal Security and Exchange Commission by delisting or making some of these harder to trade. So once again, you got a problem. Just like I said before, you've got Ethereum Classic, you got Ethereum 1.0, you got Ethereum 2.0. Now you got things running like Uniswap that don't really run because they're running because the company itself is making decisions not to, while the actual contracts are able to be traded. Who knows? It's just a big mess. But in the meantime, it has a $300 billion market cap, and you continue to get people all over the internet telling you what a great deal it is. So once again, it is a big mess. And why people want to take Bitcoin and trade it for Ethereum, I have no idea. I'm still trying to figure that one out. So let's see if we got any comments. I'll talk about the comments here for a little bit. Make my screen a little bit bigger. Or actually, I got to do it this way. There we go. So let's take a look at the comments for a second. Okay. Hi, you all from nz.go.eos. Leonard Gonzalez. Hey, he calls Bitcoin bananas. Then he's for it. Make up your mind. Freaking mind. Yeah, Cuban. Yeah. Hello, all. Rick. Thanks. I appreciate the comments. Got a few thumbs up. A few people commented. I appreciate it. I come on here live, kind of different times in the day. But yeah, and I'm going to do this with this video. I'll do them with all the videos. Take this. I'm going to put a challenge that if you make a comment on this video, that's all you need to do. Go to Challenge EOS, the App Store or Google Play Store, and just cut and paste your comment on that on the App Store, and on our application, I'll give you 500 challenge tokens. 500 challenge tokens. You do whatever you want with them. You move them around, do whatever you want with them. They're your tokens. The one thing about our application is it's user friendly. You know, we're not running from some browser extensions or anything like that. We actually maintain a wallet for you too. So you don't even have to control your own wallet. If you want to use your own wallet, you can transfer it just like you transfer from any other exchange or any other application. But you can move your tokens around, do whatever you want. But I'm going to give them to you 500 free. Just go and download the app. Download the app, post your comment, look at your or take a snapshot, screenshot of your comment, put it in, and I'll give you 500 challenge tokens. It's Challenge, CHALLENGEEOS, Challenge EOS. We're making some upgrades to it here recent. We're ready to release them here any day. One of them is we will be running on Telos, the fastest blockchain in the world, which is it's a sister chain of EOS. That's what I call it. Some other people argue with me on whether it's a sister chain or not. They have independent block producers, not the same block producers, but it's basically the same software, the EOS.io software, Telos. We're running on Telos. We'll be running on Telos very soon. The other thing we're doing on our application is you'll be able to, we'll have an ability for people to talk back and forth, to do a private conversation. So you can message people, a messaging system back and forth between users. The other thing we're going to do is you'll be able to post links. So be able to take a link, like if you have a promotion link or something, you'll be able to take it from our application and put it someplace else. So you can actually like put it on Facebook, put it someplace else, so you can draw people to your information. So we're making some upgrades. I think we're on the 7th or 8th or 9th version. I can't remember which one. It's been so many. So if you want to check it out, make 500 tokens, 500 challenge tokens. It's very easy to do. I'll put the challenge up as soon as I'm done with the video. I'll put the links below on how to do it, and we'll keep it going. Keep it going, because that's what we do. We just keep it going. We don't sit around and just tell you we're doing something. We actually do it. We actually follow through. We've been following through now for 3 or 4 years, and we don't tell people we're going to do stuff and then don't do it. We actually follow through and do it, unlike most of the people I talk about on the channel. I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.